for questions. We'll address questions in the room first and take questions from Zoom as time permits. Okay, Tom, just give us an overview, please.
Yes, sir. Obviously disappointing loss, but, we'll come out ready to play tomorrow like we've done all year. We've responded to adversity all year, and tomorrow will be no different. Thought Sully threw the ball really well, kind of quieted the game down, kind of kept us in it, gave us chances. And we had people on base all day. We were 2 for 17 with runners on base today. And, that's just not going to, obviously, it's going to be hard-pressed to win a game, with those kind of numbers with people on base. I had a chance to walk Beloso there, and 2-0 count. I wanted to do it. I was in between, and I should have pulled the trigger on an intentional walk there and loaded the bases for Thompson. I regret doing that. Seth threw a 2-0 changeup that he just elevated, and Beloso didn't miss it. He's a good hitter, and should have walked him in that situation, and I think it would have been a totally different game had I done that, put a little more pressure on them. But got to come out tomorrow and play good baseball.
Okay, we'll open it up now for questions for the student athletes. Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you and give us your name and affiliation. And the first question goes in the back here. Claire. Jack.
Jack Dongshire with Foul. Sean, this one for you. You're spectacular tonight. Not only, obviously, being able to save some of your bullpen going into tomorrow and moving forward as well, but is it maybe something that you can take from a scouting report perspective and talk to the guys who are going to throw tomorrow, something that you maybe saw offensively, obviously, they game plan?
Yeah, definitely. I think, just seeing that order twice is just like a big advantage for us, and I think I can give some key tips to other pitchers coming in facing them tomorrow.
Okay, next question. Yeah, Aaron.
Thank you. Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. Pierce, obviously it's been difficult hitting conditions out here all week with the wind, doing what it does here. But you were able to get a couple. But what's kind of the key, do you think, going forward for this team to try to get something going in these conditions?
Yeah, well, it's all about adjusting. Especially here, we usually play a pretty small ballpark. The balls that usually go out there aren't going out here. So we need to really adjust on kind of keeping hard and low line drives, which is hard to do. Hitting's hard. You can't really intentionally do that all the time, but kind of just focusing in and zeroing in on just hitting line drives, finding the holes. I think LSU did a good job of that, keeping it low, making our guys make plays. A lot of our outs were left up in the air. Good swings. A lot of guys had good swings just right at guys. But, yeah, just things didn't really fall the way we wanted to.
Okay, next question. Matt?
Matty Reyes, White and Blue Review for Pierce. You made LSU use 3 pitchers to get you guys out, the first 6 outs. What do you think stalled out in terms of your offensive momentum that you had early?
Yeah, credit to their pitchers. They kind of quieted the storm. But we had a lot of situational at-bats to kind of get some runs in, gain some momentum, maybe get some more pitchers out before they kind of got in their groove. But, yeah, just runners on third, less than 2 outs. Couldn't get them in a couple of times throughout the game, which I felt like was the difference. But, yeah, credit to their pitchers. They slowed it down, and they're fighting. So.
Okay, right here.
Les Johns, Demon Deacon Digest. For both Pierce and Sean, tomorrow will be the first elimination game you guys have faced the entire NCAA tournament. I know it's kind of fresh in your minds, but what's kind of the mindset for the team, and what was that, post-game huddle like?
Sean, you start.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show us, take any day for granted, and just keep fighting for another day to play with each other. I know that's what it's all about. That's what we want to do. Just, we're going to have to be extra gritty tomorrow, grind out at bats, just keep working on the mound, and just fight to play one more day with each other.
Pierce?
Yeah, it's just another game. Bottom line, we've been doing it all year. Haven't lost a series all year. Knock on wood on that one. So we've been through it before. It's just another game for us. We're going to come out ready to play.
Okay, any more questions for the student athletes? Right, guys. Thank you. Get ready for tomorrow. Thanks. Okay, open it up for questions for Tom, and we'll start with Essex over here.
Essex there, blogger said to your coach, your 2 through 5 hitters, I mean, they drew walks, but combined they went 0 for 15 at the plate tonight. What were you seeing in particular from them, especially on looking at a lot of pitches?
Yeah, again, Herring came in and threw well. He was kind of effectively wild. You know, he would have big misses and then he'd locate, and you know, and he's got a good arm. I mean, he's got good stuff, and we just didn't kind of force him to get in the zone enough, and didn't kind of grind and stay inside baseballs as much as we needed to on a day like this. I think 18 of our first 21 outs were via either a fly ball or a strikeout. And you know, when you're playing in these conditions, you've got to keep the ball out of the air. You've got to be hard and low. You can't strike out, and you can't hit the ball in the air. And we did both those things today.
Okay, next question. Yeah, Les.
Hey Tom, you mentioned you almost gave an intentional pass on the at bat that ended up with the 3-run homer. I'm curious, did you give any thought about bringing Sean Sullivan in at that point and setting up a lefty on lefty matchup, maybe to try to get out of that jam?
Yeah, Sully wasn't quite ready. I mean, it was just the third inning of the game, and you know, Seth had thrown really well in the first inning, and the second inning, you know, didn't throw great, but pitched well enough to get out of it. And again, you know, 2 walks, and you know, first baseman, you know, hits a ball, kind of bounces over Kurtz's head. So you know, it's not like he was out there getting barreled up. You know, it was just one of those situations where, you know, when he fell behind Beloso, I should have just followed my gut instinct, and I didn't do that because the next 2 guys are a good matchup for Seth.
Okay, Aaron.
Aaron Fitt, D1 again, Coach. Obviously, you know, heart of your order, 3, 4, 5 guys. Struggled a little bit. I mean, you know, haven't had necessarily loud weeks out here. Have you noticed any kind of, you know, pressing? I hate to use that word, but any of that kind of thing, or what can you think you can do to kind of spark something with those guys?
Yeah, I think it can turn quickly. I mean, Tommy Hawk pressed a little bit the first 2 games, and obviously every one of his at-bats today was really good. So really happy with the way Tommy set the table all day today. I thought Lucas gave us good at-bats. So, you know, clearly we need to get Kurtzy and JJ going, those 2. You know, we might flip the order a little bit and move Pierce up into that 5 hole, and, you know, maybe kind of give JJ, you know, a little bit of a breather, a little less pressure situations. But, you know, we need JJ and Kurtzy to get going. I mean, if we're gonna make a run here at this title, we're gonna need those 2 guys to get rolling.
Okay, next question. Yeah, right here.
Coach, Michael Ferrer with Bird Sports Network. You used 2 pitchers today. Could you just talk about like how big, even though the outcome isn't the way you want it, how big those guys stepped up for you to save some arms for tomorrow?
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, we were, you know, when we're down 3, we were kind of in between on whether to go to Sully or just piece it together with some other guys and save Sully for tomorrow. But, you know, we felt like we'd score. And again, we had opportunities to score. We had runners on base and just couldn't get the big hit. And again, Herring was the difference. You know, me not walking Beloso and Herring that was the difference in the game today. You know, I give credit to Herring. I don't think he's thrown 80 pitches all game. I mean, I don't know that he's thrown 80 pitches in a week all year based on the numbers. And he went out there and gave them 80 really good pitches. So he was the difference.
Okay, Matt.
Coach Matt Taverny from World Baseball Network. What's it going to be like tomorrow to just have Bennett Lee behind the dish, let alone on what he's been doing with the pitching staff all season and just putting up consistent numbers for the pitching staff, let alone for Bennett? Yeah,
he's our guy. He's a leader on this team, and again, we'll be in a good headspace tomorrow. I don't worry about us coming out and playing well or being nervous or, you know, the situation being too big for us. And that starts with our leadership group, and Bennett Lee's kind of at the front of that. Pierce Bennett, who you saw here, and Bennett Lee are 2 guys at the front of that.
Okay, Les.
I know it's kind of early, but what is the pitching plan, and will Rhett Lauder be on the board for you tomorrow?
That's a great question, Les. I'm not 100% sure on Rhett. We'll have to talk to him. We'll see how he feels tomorrow and make a decision on that. Knowing Rhett, he'll probably be on the board tomorrow. But, you know, we've got Manassi, we've got Rowland, we've got Massey, you know, we've got, you know, Ray and Crum and Mascolo, Joe Ariola. I mean, we've certainly got plenty of pieces tomorrow.
Okay, any more questions for Tom? Yeah, right back here. Back.
Neil Deacons Illustrated. Tom, do you expect to see Paul Skeens tomorrow?
I do. I do expect to see Paul Skeens tomorrow. He threw before the game today, and was cutting it loose pretty good. So I imagine that that's exactly who we'll see.
Okay. Tom, that'll do it. Thank you.
All right,
See
guys.
you tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're checking.